pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mastriano? Here. Collins? Here. Coyle? Here. Lee?
Here.
Owen? Here. Abelson? Here. Bessler? Here. Are there any public comments? Okay. Update from the superintendent.
Just very quickly, we were in Washington DC a little over a week ago to present at the Model Schools Conference, and the principals and Sean Mesmer and Joe Harris and I presented, and it was really, really nice event for us to sort of catalyze some of the work we've been doing. Everybody did a super nice job. We divided it up into sections, and I think it gave us a good springboard for moving forward in terms of the achievements that we've had in the district and our ability to tell that story moving forward. So good job, everybody. And then Carla joined us for the Successful Practices Network. That is the group that named us one of the most innovative districts in America this year. So she got to participate in there as our board, which is tough for that. So we look forward to continuing that work as well.
Update from any board members?
I'll just follow that
Yeah.
very quickly and say it was great to be there, partly to, kind of, mostly to witness our staff and administration in the setting with other school districts. Sometimes we as board members go to conferences as school board members or with other school board members. That's great. This was different, though. This was me having an opportunity to see other people like Ken and the principals and kind of witness them with their peers. And I think that's important too, from time to time, for us as board members to try and do that. So it was really great. And I just want to say you would have been so proud of them because their presentation was, I stayed for the next day and saw their presentation. There were kind of two, there was a pre-conference and then the regular conference, and they just did a great job. They only had 50 minutes to put on a presentation of all the things that we're doing that are innovative and special, and it was awesome. It was really great. It brings it all together in a real short capsule. It's almost not enough time for sure, but it was great to see it. And I don't know, Ken, if they have that on video or
It'd be great to share.
it would be nice just to, if anybody wanted to see it. It's a really nice presentation.
I'm going to wait and see what the over and under is for the principals, and then we're going to do the whole presentation in an upcoming board meeting so that we can blow somebody's over and under. 50 minutes, heck. Give us 2 hours. No, but we will probably, all kidding aside, we will probably do some elements of it, maybe at the Ed Committee, and then some of the pieces will come back here when I do my goals update in August with the board.
Thank you. Construction update, Mary.
During the last month, what we've been doing is we just did our first round of building meetings and shared with the buildings the same floor plans that the board saw at the Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting. Then today ended our first series of meetings on the construction phasing and which areas are going to be constructed when during the next 3 years, and that will be shared with the board at the upcoming Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting as we kind of made some tweaks and changes even today in terms of what made sense. Because this phase works better with this phase being renovated, and then the whole timing will walk the board through that. Right now, the updated drawings are out for pricing, and Pepper is working on construction pricing estimates, and that will come to the board at the August meeting. So we're continuing to roll right along.
And even that brief update will be included in a public update tomorrow?
Absolutely. Every
As we
Tuesday,
promised.
we do a little public update and post it on the website so that the community knows where we're standing with the pre-construction.
Yep. Every Tuesday, the day after every board meeting, every month, we do an update as we promised, to be transparent with taxpayers' money and where we are. So, okay, monthly status of
In your
finances.
board packet is the May financial statement. On the revenue side, the funds that are slightly over budget are basically interest-driven funds, meaning interest income has been slightly up as short-term interest rates have been on a slight rise. On the expenditure side, it might appear that a couple of funds are less than budget where we are, given that June's the end of the fiscal year, but you have to recall that in June, we have 6 summer payrolls for our 10-month staff. So that will catch up pretty quickly in June. If you look, the capital projects fund is over budget, and that's because we've got some fees that we're paying out for the facility master plan. We didn't know that when we did the budget, so we know that we will get the funds back for that, as we are putting in about $45 million of our own money. And then the other one is the Torrey Immunity Fund, and where we've had some increased costs related to legal fees and unemployment compensation. I will entertain any questions that anybody has on the May financial statements.
All right, thank you. Sean, next item is instructional services. Sean Moore.
We have no report this month.
Okay, next item, 10, monthly FOIA requests.
One, and it's being processed.
All right, action items. Do I have a motion on consent agenda items 6A through E?
So moved.
Any questions regarding any of these items? Okay, roll call.
Austriaco,
Aye.
Collins, Coyle,
Aye.
Lee, Owen,
I would abstain on 6A.
Yusuf Abramson,
Aye.
and Hustler.
Aye. Do I have a motion for approval of the tentative budget for 2019-2020?
So moved.
Second.
Mary, you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I'll just point out some of the highlights. On the revenue side, you'll see that we're getting the increase in property taxes from the consumer price index, which is about 2%. And then we're anticipating an extra $1 million in interest income, as I just stated, the short-term interest rates are rising. So we'll get a little more interest income from there. You may see some unique information related to the capital projects fund in terms of the funding of the facilities master plan. We are budgeting for the first bond sale for the facility master plan of $65 million next year. Our plan is, unless interest rates change dramatically, to sell 3 bond issues each of the 3 years of construction to provide us with cash flow for the construction. That is the most economical way to do that, and will allow the taxpayers to pay the fewest amount in interest dollars on those bonds. But you can also then see that we are budgeting about $20 million in expenditures next year. The construction will start to kick up in May, so this budget has about 2 months of construction, and the next year's budget will have 12 months of construction. So that $65 million will not only fund this $20 million, but all of the construction that will go into full year in June, July, August, and continue. So that's why we anticipate the bond sale in perhaps May, so that it's just in time for construction costs. And that is what is causing the surplus to be so large, is that there's a $45 million time difference between the sale of the bonds and the first year expenditures. As you are aware, in July at the Finance Committee meeting, we go through the budget in great detail. So that's the opportunity that we will go through. This document has been on public display since July 1, not only here, but also we send it electronically to the libraries and also put it on the website. We anticipate and are scheduling a public hearing to invite the public in to provide any comments that they have on the budget at the August board meeting, and then the budget is set for final adoption in September. There will be a few minor tweaks between the tentative budget and the final budget. The corporate personal property replacement tax estimates are not out, so once they come out, we will update the budget for that. The final grant allocations are not out. Once we get those, we will update the budget. The IMRF rate for calendar year 20 will be published, and we will update the budget should that rate impact either a higher or lower amount, as well as we found out that property and liability insurance is trending higher than we anticipated, so we'll probably be adding a little bit more to that budget line item. With that, I will take any questions that any board members have on the tentative budget. And for those that aren't aware, the budget starts out at a summary level, and then goes fund by fund and goes into more depth. So it's called what's on a function level, and a function is just a fancy accounting term from the state for each individual department. So regular funds are any of the regular educational funds and covers the largest portion of the ed fund, where the majority of our teachers are budgeted. So that's why you'll see that number is so high.
Any questions for Mary? Take roll call.
Yusuf Abramson,
Aye.
Reed, Collins, Coyle, Austriaco, Owen,
Aye.
Bessler.
Aye. Do I have a motion on number 8, agreement with Maine South Hockey, or Maine High School Hockey Association?
So moved.
Second. Ken, do you want to address this?
This is the annual agreement that we've done for at least a decade, and a few years ago, we did a pretty thorough legal review of it, and this is an updated version of that. So this is an annual thing that we've done.
Any questions? Can you take a roll call?
Collins,
Aye.
Yusuf Abramson,
Aye.
Austriaco,
Aye.
Coyle,
Aye.
Owen,
Aye.
Reed, Bessler.
Aye. Do I have a motion on items 9A through E, approval of bids and awarding of contracts?
So moved. Second.
Mary, do you want to touch base on
Well,
these?
actually, for the first time in probably forever, every one of these is Mr. Messmer's.
Wow. And you're saying that with such a smile.
I know.
So
That's never
I'd
happened.
be happy to answer any questions. These are 5 renewal subscriptions related to textbooks and electronic textbooks. Some of these represent multi-year licenses and some are single-year licenses. Keeping within the law to bring contracts that are $25,000 a year or higher to the board for approval. That's what we're doing with these.
I have a question.
Well, I was going to ask, will the students will be access to all of this, any of those 5 items online reading programs?
These are, for example, Mayan, the very first one, that's accessible to all students. It's level reading, but it's also, it's basically an online library that they would have access to in addition to the library that we currently supply. But then the textbooks are related directly to the courses that they take. So they're given licenses to the textbook for specific courses, and they get those usually on the first day of school. And that's part of what the yearly fee that students pay.
Do you know what the comparable costs were for physical textbooks? I mean, I guess what I was thinking that costs would drop when we went to electronic
They did.
textbooks.
They did.
And, okay, so that's what I'm asking.
And we have a whole report on that we're going to present at a later time too, because we've gone through that multiple times, in showing the cost, how the curve has gone down. And then I've asked Sean before too, and you can supplement whatever I'm saying, that to show, to present that to us is that progression and the difference.
Okay, all right, I'm just looking at $86,000, $164,000. I just.
Well, and these
Was
are
it-
multiple licenses. So for example, something like let's just say the Pearson. Pearson is really a giant in the marketplace. They own a lot of intellectual property. We get licensures through them, and so they have a large, it's $164,000. That's also serving 6,400 students in terms of some of the textbooks that they will, that they'll access. So I can share the report from, that I have shared in the past where it shows the differences from 2013 till today.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, and then we'll have a yearly update that's even more granular.
Yeah,
Because
okay.
we went into a lot of that, so.
I do have one little follow-up before we vote on it. That we are seeing these costs, and I know we're gonna get a report that compares to prior, but how would you, are you able to quantify the increases in these costs from one year to the next?
These are actually current renewals, they have not increased.
Okay.
The only increase that we have seen, probably in the last 2 years, has been when we've added a textbook that we haven't in the past. So now we're paying a new subscription fee. So when you bring on a new class that has a textbook like that, not open source material, although we are encouraging staff more and more to use open source, which is free, we'll see an increase that way. However, we have not seen, I think, about the last 2 years, any subscription price increases.
I thought there was a discussion about we were charging more for, you know, they kind of got wise to this and they have been beefing up some of the costs of this.
Not necessarily more expensive per license,
Okay.
but think of it this way, I may have bought a book for $100 in the past. I'm now gonna spend $20 a year for the license. So the book's still costing $100, but you're kind of breaking it up in different increments, which does make it more affordable as it spreads that cost across 5 students as opposed to 1. So that's where the savings really came in.
But still, students will need to pay portion of this cost.
This is part of the annual fee that students pay, the flat rate that we've gone to for the last few years. So they do not pay extra fees for these textbooks, they're included in the price.
So Sean, is there a benefit to multi-year contracts
When
for
we can,
this?
when we can get multi-year contracts, we get them, and there is sometimes a benefit. That's not always the case depending upon the textbook, especially when you get into students using college level texts. They don't have the, I guess they charge more because they can in the market on, say, an AP chemistry textbook, for example. Some of the foreign language tend to be more expensive as well.
I have a sorry, just one question. So on Renaissance, so since this is for most like a subset of the population, so maybe students that aren't at reading level, do you have any numbers on how many students actually access it and use it, or do you get that with the
We're actually
subscription?
studying that right now.
Okay.
The usage is highest at Maine East, second highest at Maine West, and not utilized very much at Maine South. And in some ways, that equates to populations of students who need some extra support. However, having said that, we are actually studying this year to determine whether or not we'll continue with Maya in the future.
And we do that annually, though, we look at our usage rates for our subscriptions, and ones that aren't being used, we typically drop those off.
Yeah.
But this particular program is within a suite of the reading program. This is the part that, when you get a chance to talk to Kelly Morrissey and the work, the redesigns we've made in like the last 4 or 5 years, we've seen dramatic increases in reading performance. And so it's been some tweaks and some of the inputs that she's had in there. So I'm especially confident in the decisions we're making now are more carefully considered and frankly are tied to performance increases for students.
And on a related matter, that report also shows the cost to our families and to the students, and that has gone down. That was initially it wasn't as big a drop as I had thought, and then we've done I haven't done the reports, the team's done the reports, and that's something I'm very interested in, because we thought that would reduce the cost to our families.
And just for the sake of a new board member and other board members who maybe haven't heard this in the past, we were Google's first K-12 partner. So we've been at the forefront of one-to-one computing. We actually would have gone one-to-one 3, 4, 5 years earlier. What stopped us from going one-to-one is that the cost of the ebooks and the cost of the hard books were exactly the same for many, many years. And so if you pay $125 for a physical book and $125 for the ebook, it wasn't until Pearson dropped the ebook prices from, to Sean's point, from $100 to $20 or $25, where that's when we went fully one-to-one, because we could do it and include the cost of the device in the fees and save our families money. In some cases, $1,000 per student over 4 years is about what we probably have saved many families. Just and Sean's example is a perfect example, especially when you extrapolate that over 5 or 6 classes. And that's the historical reason why we waited until the ebook prices dropped to go fully one-to-one, because the two were really linked in our decision making. We didn't want to increase the cost to the families.
So I think this just highlights the importance of that report. So we look forward to circulating and recirculating the current one, and then digging deeper. All right, can we take a vote on 9A through D?
Collins? Aye. Coyle? Aye. Austriaco? Aye. Lee? Owen? Aye. Houston Peterson? Aye. Vessel?
Aye. I have a motion on number 10, new club proposal, Maine East Gaming Club.
Second.
So this has been a request that we've kind of been sitting on for about a year. When it first came to us, we frankly, as a building administration, we're not real comfortable with the notion that kids might be in chat rooms, you know, supervised or unsupervised, as it was presented. So we slowed the roll significantly over the past year. IHSA is actually doing a study now in sanctioning gaming as well. We were able to do some research with some of the districts that have adopted. And in the last couple of years, we actually hired some fantastic, talented and really dedicated CTE staff. We've got a sponsor, Andy Gonzalez, is one of our new guys who is just doing a great job all the way around, who has wrapped his arms around this as well. So we feel very comfortable with this. We do know that e-gaming, for kids that really decide they're going to excel, I mean, there's scholarship money and, you know, some real advantage to our students to offer that up. So
It's being studied in IHSA sport.
emerging activities.
Yeah, 2 years away.
It's gonna be an IHSA sport.
Right.
in the next-
So we're going to win state. Forget the e-gaming. We feel, you know, enthusiastic and really comfortable with our organization.
And obviously, all the safety checks and all the monitoring greatly regulated in place to
In
ensure.
terms of the Constitution, with the way that we will monitor, I mean, there's a point at which kids are gonna do what they're gonna do, but if they're looking at what we recognize as our school club, then we feel like we've got about the most robust sort of checks and balances we can, given the nature of this event.
All right. Roll call on that?
Lisa Abramson. Lee. Collins. Austriaco. Owen.
Aye.
Coyle.
Aye.
Bessler.
Aye. Number 11 is just regional calendar items. Any questions on the upcoming calendar items?
The only thing I wanted to say there was just that, education, I'm gonna be talking to Sean. We don't have anything right now, like, it's September. And we have that ad hoc policy committee.
Which we're
also.
going to set a date.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Any other public comments? Okay, do I have a motion to move into closed session for the purposes of the review of closed session minutes, appointment, employment, compensation, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, and collective negotiating matters.
Second.
Austriaco. Collins. Coyle. Lee. Owen.
Aye.
Lisa Abramson. Bessler.
Aye.